We are talking trades as we enter week 3 here on FFT Express. What's up? It's Adam and Dave. Here we go. So we gave buy lows and sell highs. We'll get into that. But let me start with this introductory question. How do you approach injured players when it comes to trades? You know, we have these timelines that we expect for a guy like A.J. Brown, for a guy like Puka Nacua, whatever the case may be, for Christian McCaffrey. But these things can change. Guys can have setbacks and whatnot. So what do you do with injured players when we're talking trade?
The problem is if you've got the injured player and you want to trade them away, you cannot expect what you might think is fair value for those players, because the team that you're trading with is going to say, well, I'm trading for an injured guy. I don't know when he's coming back. Why would I even want this guy? Why would I even want Christian McCaffrey on my fantasy team? But the reality of the situation is that the team acquiring those injured players, they're taking a risk, and therefore they shouldn't have to pay what would be even close to full price for a player given the risks involved. That's why trading for McCaffrey is such a tricky thing right now. That's why you're seeing Jordan Mason getting traded in more leagues than Christian McCaffrey. They're both getting traded a lot
too. In most
what I'm guessing, Adam, is that a lot of leagues are finding ways to like get them together. All right. Either it's the Mason manager who acquires McCaffrey, and hopefully they're not paying too much for McCaffrey, certainly not even close to second round value, much less 101 value. Or it's the McCaffrey manager ponying up to get Jordan Mason now, knowing that they've got at least 3 good games of Mason working as an RB1. So it's very, very tricky when it comes to that stuff. The only time where it's really not tricky is when a return is imminent. And so let's just say that Kyle Shanahan comes out and he says, oh yeah, McCaffrey's not going to miss any more time. As soon as he's done with IR, he's back and he'll be our main guy. In that type of situation, his value would almost go right back up to where it would be normally. And then you've kind of lost that window to go and trade for him, unless somebody just doesn't believe that he'll be healthy even when he does come back.
All right, let's take a look at some questions here. And then, because we have a lot of trade questions here, they can spark some debate. Would you trade Jameson Williams for Tyreek Hill? Which side would you rather have there?
I'd still rather have Tyreek Hill. I don't think Hill's going to turn into a total mess just because of the quarterback situation in Miami.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Should I trade Ridley for Waddle or Ridley for Cooper?
They're all right around the same value on the trade chart. I think if you need help now, I guess Cooper would probably be the best of the 3. I know he's really underwhelmed. He's been close to having some good numbers to start the season, and he plays the Giants this week. Usually that's a ticket to just go and have a big game.
Do I trade Mark Andrews for Travis Kelce?
If you're getting Kelce, absolutely. He's one of my favorite buy lows right now, because I think the Chiefs are going to have a tougher time running the football. Obviously, without Isaiah Pacheco there, I don't think Kareem Hunt's going to be a hero. I don't think Carson Steele's going to be a hero. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the hero, and they're going to throw a lot, and Kelce's going to be leaned on again.
I think you said he's your RB2 rest of season.
He would be my tight end 2 rest of season.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Right.
Non-PPR, he's a little lower.
Okay, so McBride 1, Kelce 2, Bowers 3.
No, still Kittle's out of Bowers.
Okay. Jalen Waddle or Brian Thomas for Puka? Would you give up Waddle or Thomas for Puka?
I would give up. I think I'd give up either one of them for Puka, assuming that I've got good depth. And I know it sounds silly in both of those cases because Waddle's got great upside, even with the quarterback change. I think Brian Thomas might end up being a number 2 receiver before too long for the Jaguars. He's just outstanding. At least his film is outstanding. And with Nacua, I think he will come back. He's one that makes me think that his IR stint will be right about 4 games, maybe one more after that, because he's already come back from this injury once. The Rams want to go ahead and get him right, make sure that he's comfortable when he comes back, and they're going to need him in that offense for sure as a short area target.
Okay, we're going to take a break here and talk more trade after this on FFT Express. All right, so Dave, tell me some of the players you want to sell right now. Sell highs.
Jamie made a great case earlier this week on Alvin Kamara. He's number 1 right now in fantasy points per game in PPR with 33. He's not going to be able to keep that up. He's an older running back. Is the Saints offense really that good? Listen, I think it is, but I think that Alvin Kamara is not going to score a bunch of touchdowns. This is the high point of where his value will be. So as long as you can get a lot for him, I think he's a sell-high candidate. In the same vein is the number 2 running back in PPR points per game, and that's Davante Adams. Especially with the quarterback change, and especially knowing his track record with injuries, I would be open to moving on from either of those running backs if, big if, you get a lot in trade for them. I don't want to trade them away because I think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be good as long as they're playing. There's a sell high window on Davante Adams that's open after he just had a big game with Gardner Minshew. How many more times this year will we say Davante Adams had a big game with Gardner Minshew? I don't know if there's one even coming against Carolina this week because I think the Raiders were going to try anyway to run the football effectively. And I had one more. You got to give me a second to go and look it up. It's right here. I apologize for this. Oh, yeah. Another running back, JK Dobbins. We love the guy. It's a great story. You know his history. You know that the Chargers are going to split reps. They're never going to give JK Dobbins all of the work. Not to say that Gus Edwards is going to be the guy that he's splitting with. Kamani Vidal might eventually get an opportunity because Gus Edwards looks terrible. But I think that J.K. Dobbins could be a little bit capped. There will be games coming where he's not going to have explosive runs. He will disappoint you a little bit because he's not getting 20-plus touches, because he's not playing against the Carolina Panthers.
Someone asking, would you sell Alvin Kamara for Brock Bowers in Dynasty? Oh, yeah. In Dynasty?
If I've got a team with at least one win in Dynasty and Alvin Kamara's on the team, I don't think my season's over yet. I'm going to try and win.
All right. Well,
I've got Kamara on one of my Dynasty teams. I love Brock Bowers. I'm never making that trade. Wow. Now, 2 weeks from now, if my team is 1-3 and I don't think it's going anywhere, that's when I'll make that trade. And and maybe the Bowers manager would be open to doing it if he's got a winning record.
I'm taking a little bit of a different approach on Alvin Kamara. I don't want to really do it too much because I don't want to be overexposed. I do have a decent amount of Kamara, but yeah. I'm kind of buying high. Like, I get what you're saying, sell high if you can turn him into a first-round player or something like that. But here's the thing. The guy has been, in 2 of the previous 3 seasons, he's been like a top 6 running back per game in full PPR. Last year, he was RB4 per game. We like the offense so much better. So I don't really... And he's getting goal line work, which, yeah, like Taysom Hill will probably mix in there, but it's not going to be like Kamara's going to get taken off the field at the goal line regularly. They'll probably split, or maybe it'll just be Kamara. I don't really see anything that's not to like except for his age. And if you're one of those people who believes, oh, he's 29, he's going to get hurt, or he's going to
you don't have him on your team if you believe that.
Well, it may have fallen to you, but I'm sorry. A guy who was RB4 per game last year and is currently RB1, that's not someone that I think is an obvious sell high. Will he hold up? And you could make that case for any running back, not just the older ones. So someone put Kamara on the block in one of our leagues, and I sent them a message. I said, I don't really know what to offer, but I'm interested. Let me know. Make me an offer. I haven't gotten it yet, but
if he's putting him on the block, you're the one that maybe should make an offer.
I looked at his team. I looked at my team. I didn't want to insult him. I just couldn't really think of anything that made sense. So
then you're not going to make a trade to get Kamara. Listen, you're making the classic mistake of assuming that sell high means this player's just he's going to fall off a cliff and he's just not going to be that good anymore. He's not going to be 33 points per game. What did he have in week 2? 40 something?
Look,
he's not going to be that guy. There are literally 4 players on the trade chart who are higher than Alvin Kamara right now. Sell high if you can get a haul. It's really not that hard to comprehend that sentence.
No, I totally support that. But I'm just saying, I believe in him. I think he's going to be really good. I believe in him in the preseason, and, nothing changed my mind yet.
But I'll tell you what, let's compare that sell high call to Davante Adams. Neither of us are sitting here thinking that Davante Adams is going to be as good as he was in week 2.
I kind of like Adams. I don't want to contradict everything that's said on the show. I don't like his upcoming schedule. It does make me a little nervous, but
yes,
I was probably the high guy on Davante Adams because, again, I think he was really good last year. From what I've seen the evaluators say is Davante Adams was not washed up last year. Okay?
No, he was not. And
right?
He's not washed up this year.
Right. So he's still really good. And I know that Minshew can make a number 1 receiver good. We've seen that. Minshew's second in the NFL in passing yards right now. He doesn't run. He's not a mobile quarterback. So you've got a pocket passer that's probably going to throw a decent amount. He could be top 10 in yards this year. He really could be. That might sound crazy, but with the state of passing games, at least it'll be top 15. This is not going to be a bad passing offense. It's going to be a lot better than it was last year. So I like Davante Adams, but I do think it's not a bad call because, the schedule is rough and Minshew's not great. So I don't disagree, but I'm
there are teams in every league that are without Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and man, they might pony up for Davante Adams.
Yep, it's true.
So that's a different, and I wouldn't expect a haul for Davante Adams. Maybe you get one, but a fair deal for Davante Adams, and then he's off your team, and then you're not worrying about a receiver with a mediocre quarterback, even if he is 6th right now in pass attempts, falling off a cliff, all that stuff. Bowers taking more work away from him. Who the heck knows? Like these things can happen. And that's why Adams is somebody that I'm much more inclined to look for a fair deal for.
Well,
I don't want a fair deal from Alvin Kamara. I want something that's going to make me, my team even more awesome, basically.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. That's Dave. I'm Adam. We'll talk to you tomorrow on FFT Express.